Josh, what do you think about the playmaking potential of Jimmy Callaway when you see him make a play like that?
Great play by him. Obviously has so many athletic skills and traits, and just the growth and evolution of him as a player. But it speaks to a lot of the young players that we have inside of our program. Excited for him to perform in that way. What a great day today. Sun finally came out, and there's a great energy on campus, right? With everything going on tonight with baseball, so many positive things happening here inside of our athletic department. Today you get a chance, a unique opportunity to bring VFLs, our players' parents and recruits on campus. And obviously we're not inside Neyland Stadium. We miss our fans. Would love the opportunity to be in front of them inside of that stadium. Excited about the renovations, what's going on, the future of Tennessee football. It's a huge part of recruiting right now and the momentum that we have. But today, it was a great energy on the practice field. And we got the checkerboards on here, we got the tee, and it felt like a game day for those guys.
What did you see with some of those defensive touchdowns, including with Harris?
Some huge plays on the back end of the scrimmage. I love, the competitive nature and makeup. Offensively, had a couple of drives early in the scrimmage. Defense is able to reset, find energy, find momentum, continue to make plays. You want back and forth, and I love the way the defense finished off the scrimmage today.
Well, it looks like Hendon only got a couple of series. I'm just sort of managing him.
Just unique in the way it unfolded. The first drive for the Ones had a huge play count rep, and today, there's no TV. It was strictly play count, and how we're trying to manage, each set for all of our guys. Get a lot of competitive work, and he just happened to get a bunch of it on the first drive.
With no Cooper today, Addison's getting a lot more run at center.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, just one of those trial by fire? I mean, I know you've been working him,
Yeah.
but, you kind of throw him in there and understand, he's not done this a whole lot.
Yeah, Addison's going to be a great player. Not a good one. He's going to be a great one here. Today, managing all the things that he's seen on the other side of the line of scrimmage, getting his hand on the ball, making calls. He's a growth in progress, and today was day 10 for him. Coop's fine and no issues. Just felt like we wanted to hold him out of this one, but that's the opportunity. Your young players inside your program. I don't care where they're at, all three phases of the game. Just the constant growth that this group has been able to show. Proud of what they've done. You guys know that I've been really excited about who they are off the field and how they've come into our program. Excited to finish the back third of spring ball and see where we can get before we kind of break.
How would you assess the quarterbacks?
I thought Hendon did a really good job managing some things. Joe made a bunch of plays today, scramble, deep throw down the middle of the football field. He's been really consistent throughout spring practice. Taven, as a young guy, continues to get a bunch of reps. He's learning from every single one of them. Just like all of our young guys, the game, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's true at the quarterback position. I love that he's resilient and comes back and competes the next play, no matter what's gone on in the previous play. Got a bright future.
Jabari said didn't have them out there, just precautionary?
Yeah, precautionary with those guys. Feel like we've done a good job of kind of managing guys here through spring ball. They've showed really good glimpses of a lot of growth here during our off season. So want to continue to develop those guys.
Josh, is today more about just evaluating individuals versus a position group inside the ball? Is that kind of how you do this in spring?
It's about individuals for sure in spring football. The growth that they show, and that could be in the way they compete and play when coaches are truly off the field. It's their ability to see and recognize signals, get their alignment right, get their eyes in the right place. Can they go make plays when they're in those situations? How do they handle success and adversity? It's growing into a player that's going to compete at a championship level. Within that, you're able to evaluate your position group too, and those are things that myself and our staff are constantly looking at.
Looked like the defensive front seemed to be disruptive. Is that something you've seen a lot of spring, or has that been something they've been doing a lot? Or
during the course of spring ball, throughout scrimmages, there's been back and forth on both sides of the line of scrimmage. In practices, you see position groups that show great plays, but it is about the growth of each individual player, and today there's some things that schematically guys just didn't function and operate on the offense side of the play. Defensive line did. I mean, they defeated one-on-one blocks. You saw those guys create pressure and havoc on the quarterback today. That's something that's important for us as a program moving forward. 3rd and longs, we weren't nearly as efficient as we need to be on that side of the ball. It's been a point of emphasis in how we've constructed our practice. Thought today defensive line did a great job.
Josh, did you like the progress you saw out of your freshman receivers?
Yeah, I think those guys have shown a great ability. Even leading into spring ball, I thought they grasped what we were doing. They've spent a ton of extra time inside of the building trying to understand, see and recognize signals and be able to function. As a group, as a whole, that young group coming in, they've handled and transitioned into college football and the tempo and the style of how we play about as well as any group I've ever been around.
What kind of spring has Callaway had? I know last year, maybe it didn't go the way he wanted it to go, especially later in the year. How's he bounced back from that this spring?
Yeah, today was probably his best day on the grass, and you want that in those competitive situations for them to rise to their best performance. For Jimmy, so talented, right? And the way he approaches and does everything, in his life, but on the practice field, in the meeting room, is going to take him to maximizing his talent. He's a guy that inside of our program we have high expectations for. He's going to continue on that growth, and it was great to see him perform the way he did today.
How much progress as a group as freshman offensive linemen, brand new to school, early enrollees, from day one to now?
Yeah, I think O-line and D-line, it's one of the tougher transitions, and because it's not just the speed of what you're playing against on the other side of the line of scrimmage and the schemes that you got to understand. The fronts are so dramatically different. The amount of pressures that they see, there's a mental side that's really can be overwhelming for those guys initially. But then you also have the physical hand-to-hand combat of going against, you're an 18-year-old that should be, going to your senior prom, and instead you're on the practice field competing today. Like, there's a physical element of going against a 21, 22-year-old too that those guys are growing through. Love what they're doing, believe in their future here, and they've been a great group, offensive line and defensive line. Proud of the continued growth that they've shown.
Was there something that was disappointing in the first scrimmage that you saw a lot of improvement in today?
I don't think there was anything disappointing in the first scrimmage. There's a lot of things that you want to improve on. Our guys have been great in that, they've been consistent in the way they've approached the building. They've been great in the meeting rooms. Not that there's things that we're not trying to push them through. But it's a group that wants to be their best, and that's the endeavor or the journey that we're on right now. Love the leadership that we're getting from within the locker room. You saw a ton of energy in the way those guys played today. You saw it a bunch, and when the turnovers were created, I love the way we're continuing to grow.
Have your rear running backs come along? I know.
Who's in charge of that back there?
Particularly Justin Williams, Laneith looks like he had a big run day, and Jalen as well, with Jabari kind of being limited a little bit.
Yeah, more opportunities for young guys in your program. Laneith, healthy offseason. It's shown in what he's done in his body. He's continuing to get a ton more reps. I think he's making a lot of strides as far as a running back. In pass protection, in understanding schemes, how to deliver blocks, and playing better with pad under pad on the back end of it. Justin, I thought, had his best day today without watching the video, just in the speed, tempo, and urgency that he played in. I liked a lot of what I saw today.
How tough has it been to manage things at the corner spot?
Yeah.
This spring?
It's been difficult. That's the great thing for recruits out there. There's a ton of opportunity inside of our program. For the most part, we really haven't had to change the rep count. We've tried to make sure that those guys are taken care of and ready to go compete when it's time to compete. It's a group that even the injured guys right now are doing a great job. I think they've grown in their understanding of what we're doing schematically. They've been really engaged in the process and kind of become coaches on the sidelines. That's got a chance to help them be better players when they get back.
A couple of those young guys that had some nice plays, Elijah Herring and Tyree West. What's the spring been like for those two?
Tyree's continued to grow every day. I was talking about the D linemen, the young guys. He's a guy that has a high skill set, and as he continues to grow in understanding and physically grow inside the strength and conditioning area. This back half of spring semester and the summer is going to be big for him. We're going to need him and some of those young guys that are coming into our program to push and play and help us on the defense side of the ball. Love seeing him compete and make a bunch of plays here today. Caleb's done a great job. It's a young guy as you've seen him. If you saw him in December, he's completely different physically right now than he was when he got here on campus. Played a bunch on the front line in high school, moving to the second level. Learn how to pick up pullers and schemes and be able to fit off of that. Is something that he's continuing to grow in. But a guy that it cares deeply, is completely engaged in the process, and has shown great growth every day.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.